you're usually used to getting. It's not going to be so much Cutco related. It's not going to be about how to sell bigger sets or how to sell more Cutco, but the topic that I want to cover is how to catch more green lights, and we're going to talk about some fears. And so I'll be referencing a couple of books that I've read this past year to hopefully get my point across. So get your notebooks out, get your pens ready. I think you're going to want to write some of this stuff down. And then could I get screen sharing abilities too?
Yep, let me.
No, sorry, you're gonna have to.
Just paint, paint the pictures. All right, I think you're good now, sir.
All right, can everybody see that?
Nice. Yep.
Perfect. So first thing I want to talk about is a book called Green Lights by Matthew Mcconaughey. It's a book on how to catch more yeses in a world of no's. It's how to recognize when a no might actually be a yes. The book is called Green Lights because our life is like a traffic light. Green lights are a sign of go. Everything in your life is moving right along. Green lights in your life mean that something great has happened. Some success has been achieved, and usually overall happiness is present in that moment. You can improve your chances of catching more green lights by either maybe working harder, being more prepared, but sometimes they appear from karma, fate, intuition, or fortune. Overall, green lights are good. We love green lights. On the other hand, we got yellow lights. This is usually a sign to either just freaking send it, put your foot to the floor, hope that it's a long yellow light and pray to God that there's not a cop behind you, or you might see a yellow light and slow down like a good driver and accept the fact that you're gonna have to wait. In our lives, yellow lights represent that we are sometimes unsure about a situation, but we feel like we have to respond fairly quickly. Or sometimes it's the anticipation for knowing that something might get in the way from moving forward. And then there's red lights. The light that seems to be longer than the rest of them for no apparent reason. The light that gets decorated with words of profanity and sometimes a sign language gesture that's the opposite of a wave. Red lights in our life mean that we are stopped. Something in our life has happened that prevents us from moving forward with our lives. This can be a tragic event, a mistake, an unexpected death, or something just bad. Red lights, yeah, they usually hurt. They test our patience, they frustrate us, they suck, and they seem like they last forever. Red lights, not cool. However, there are three ways to respond to red lights. And one of them is to persist, to push on, to accept the pain, accept your emotions, and accept what had happened. Know that it was supposed to happen for a reason and use it as your motivation, use it as your fuel. Someone once told me that everything and everyone in your life is either going to be a blessing or a lesson. So just keep that in mind. Another way to respond to a red light is maybe it's time to pivot. Change the way you do things. Change your habits. Change the people you hang around. Change the environment you surround yourself in. Change isn't easy and it won't come overnight, but you have to realize that you're in control. This is your life. You're the one controlling the decisions you make every day. Just try and make the best ones. And last but not least, you might have to concede. Wave the white flag. Accept failure. Accept defeat. Honestly, this is probably the hardest one because no one likes to feel defeated. No one likes to admit that they were wrong. No one likes to give up. But sometimes in our life, there are red lights that we can't do anything about other than accept the fact that we can't always win. Accepting failure and accepting your ignorance will not only make you feel enlightened, but I can promise you that you won't be at a red light anymore. There's no reason to hold on to something that you can't change. And so right now I'm just gonna get a little raw, a little real with you guys and share a personal experience from my life. This is an example of a red light that I've encountered. So an example for me would be my high school relationship that I was in. And no, this wasn't with Claire. This was with somebody else. So this was a 4-year long relationship. It started my sophomore year of high school and it ended my freshman year of college. This relationship was toxic. It was on and off. It was abusive at some times, verbally and physically. I lost friends because most of the time I chose her over than hanging out with them. I ignored all the red flags, all of the red lights. She was living in my head rent-free in so many different ways of manipulation. She'd make her presence known. She took advantage of my weaknesses. And I felt like, sometimes there was a gun to my head. I couldn't move. I was convinced that I was going to have to figure out a solution to live with her for the rest of my life because I was so comfortable with where I was at. And I felt like I didn't want to restart with anybody else because, hey, I came this far. Why not just ride it out? I mean, I was broken. I was going insane. I had no answers, no direction. I was at the ultimate red light. This red light was one of those where it was flashing. It was blinding. It almost seemed broken. And I asked myself, how am I going to get out of this mess? Persisting wouldn't get me anywhere. What, to just continue going through this toxic way of living? I couldn't do that. What I had to do was pivot and concede. I made the decision that I couldn't be part of something that did not help me grow and that did not bring true happiness into my life. I accepted the fact that I couldn't change the person who she was, and I was honest and beyond apologetic with my friends, and the best thing that I did was ask for help. They helped me realize my worth, and they were by my side through it all. But it was for months that I didn't know if I made a mistake, and I felt like there was this void that not even my friends could fill. But that summer, something happened. I don't know if it was karma, fate, or fortune, but my light changed. I realized that the importance of a red light is that they will eventually become green if you are willing to be patient and you take your chances when they come. Pursue the green light. Pursue the opportunity. For me, it was meeting someone who helped me see my true value and who cared for me because of not what I had, but who I was and who I wanted to be. Red lights are made to test you, but it's all about how you respond. On the other hand, one of the best green lights in my life would be working here. Just to give you guys a little background of how I got started and a little bit even before then. So last year was the year that I decided not to continue my college education, but instead start my own DJ business. This was the plan. Last year was supposed to be the year of Joe Pavon. Everybody was going to know what my business was and what we're all about. I was so confident in just absolutely capturing 2020. But I learned quickly that March consisted of a humongous red light that blindsided all of us. And it put a damper on my dream, obviously. kind of hard to start a business when I rely on social gatherings. But instead of finding a solution or finding an alternative or anything like that, I decided, maybe I should just put this dream on hold, because I convinced myself that, hey, maybe it's not the right time. From March until October, I was working little to no hours at my restaurant job. I collected unemployment as long as I could. I was okay with not working and having barely any responsibilities. This gave me more time to hang out with my friends, hang out with my girlfriend. Gave me more time to fill my body with unhealthy substances, and overall, just more time to be a bum. Lazy and defeated were understatements of where I was physically and mentally. My attitude sucked. My health sucked. Stress levels and anxiety were through the roof. I felt stuck. I felt like I was at another red light. Not to mention that I've been an introvert all my life and lack self-confidence more than anything. It was up until the end of October where Claire started a new job working with Vector. She was recruited into the North Denver office by a college classmate. When she told me she got a job selling knives, I think I laughed in her face. And I was like, why? But it was then when I listened in on one of her training days and team meetings. I observed how during the meetings and during training, they weren't teaching her tactics on how to sell large quantity of knives or how to be a high pressure salesperson. They were teaching her how to find her why. They were teaching her how to recognize her true value, how to communicate that with their clients and with people in general. In my head, this was exactly what I was looking for. Claire convinced me to at least give this a shot. So I applied the first week of November and got accepted immediately. And then going through training, I noted that they weren't trying to sell us on if we sell knives, we would make money. They were selling us an opportunity to connect with people who are in the business of self-growth. I think it's very rare to work in a place where the focus is more on yourself rather than the company. They know that Cutco will sell itself, and they know that they will do great business at the end of each year. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind product backed with a forever guarantee. How many other products do you know are like what we have? Why recruit college students? Why recruit inexperienced business/sales people of all ages? It's because Vector is a business that its focus is on giving people content to add to their resume, setting them up for their future endeavors. And Vector builds and teaches essential life skills that people will take with them for the rest of their life. For most people, their time here is usually temporary. We know that not everyone's gonna become a CSP or a manager of some sort. That's why we pack so much into training, into team meetings, into weekly PCs, because we want to make sure that we can do everything in our power to set you up for life down the road. We are by no means a perfect or the best company to work for in the world, and we are always evolving and improving, and yes, we make mistakes. But to say that our priority is to make sure that each and every one of you is helped and cared for on a weekly basis, that's our mission. Our philosophy is that we can give you all the tools to sell thousands of dollars worth of Cutco, but if we don't build you up as a person and help you find your true values, all of those tools are almost worthless. We teach you how to sell yourself, because Vector knows that no matter where you'll end up in life, that's a skill that you can take with you forever. Remember that the value of each and every one of you is priceless. My time here with Vector over the last 5 months have been nothing short of a roller coaster ride. That's for sure. I've been forced out of my comfort zone. I've faced so much adversity head on. I've hit multiple walls and questioned, why am I still here? I felt discouraged and hopeless at some times. But it's when I realized that this is exactly what Vector hopes we go through, because I believe these are the biggest lessons this job teaches us. Through discomfort, we find relief and ease. From all of the adversity, we are rewarded with prosperity and success. The questions of why I'm still here and hitting all those walls taught me perseverance. Overcoming self-doubt and having self-belief instead. Feeling discouraged from rejection and feeling hopeless developed mental strength. Because if I know I did everything in my power and gave everything 100%, there is no reason to hang my head. And if I made a mistake or didn't give it my all, then I acknowledge it, I learn from it, and I move on. This job is full of red and yellow lights. It's always gonna be. But with patience and proper actions, those lights will eventually turn green. We want you to know that all the managers here, all of the CSPs here, all of the reps here are here for one reason: an opportunity. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and reference another book too, called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. The hardest man on this planet. I'm telling you, if you can read this book and take so much away from it, you are only going to benefit. David Goggins shares how he transcended poverty and abuse to become the world's top endurance athlete. His story reveals how mastering your mind, hard work, and becoming friends with pain can help you achieve the unimaginable. He highlights some key ideas of how life doesn't always go your way, how most of us only tap into 40% of our capabilities, how we need to forget quick fixes. And we have to wrap the idea of no one is gonna help us. We're on a solo mission through life. This book is straightforward and to the point. And the thing that I want to highlight from this book and what I want to share with you is how to deal with your fears and how to transform pain into progress. So by a show of hands, how many of you have fears of public speaking? I do. I hated that shit in high school. I know most of you did too. How many of you have fears of just talking to people? Right before your demo, you get those butterflies in your stomach, like, oh man, hope I don't say anything stupid. They're gonna judge me. How many of you have fears of failure? How many of you have fears of phoning? By raising your hand, you have acknowledged that you are scared of something. You have all experienced a situation in your life that installed this fear in your head. But now that you've recognized it, are you gonna let it consume you and let it get in the way of your progress? I mean, David Goggins says that pain and fear unlocks a secret doorway in the mind, one that leads both to peak performance and beautiful silence. I mean, we all know that the outcome of if we face our fear head on, we are going to experience a sensation of either relief or sometimes even comfort. But how will you ever know if you don't take the leap? If you don't consume it, it will consume you. And one of my favorite quotes from this guy is, if you can get through doing things you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. Let's use phoning for an example. Nobody here loves phoning. It doesn't matter if you've been here for, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. It doesn't matter. You don't love phoning. But if you phone and you book up demos, on the other side is a paycheck. On the other side is personal growth. On the other side is becoming a better salesperson. I mean, you go over your why multiple times to the point where it's built into your head. So if you can get through doing things that you hate to do, you will be rewarded on the end. And so I just kind of want to wrap this up and saying, if I can influence and let people know that they're not alone and share this opportunity with them, so far, I believe this is my mission in life so far. To share stories and to let people interpret them how they want. It's a different message for everybody. What you took out of this only matters to you. Whether you wrote one thing down, nothing down, or everything down. You have to realize that we are so much more than people that just sell knives. We're human beings. I want this to be a place where you feel safe and feel confident enough to be yourself. This opportunity that we have here is unlimited. Whether you're here for 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, or forever, our mission and our priority is to build you up as a person, because we know that the rest will follow. And that's what I got for you guys tonight.
Wow. Round of applause for Joe. That was amazing.
Wow.
That was awesome, Joe.
I love
Thank you.
that.
Whoa.
That was
Coming
incredible.
at us like that.
Way
Oh,
to-
we have chills.